Nice job during the week, and certainly our players really did a great job with this game. Really proud of them and happy to get the win. It was a complete team win for us. Special teams didn't factor in quite to the degree maybe as last week, but the offense, defense, really a lot of good things out of there. A lot of good highlights and just a lot of good things. Opportunistic, got some turnovers 2 times, turned those into touchdowns. It's always good to see. Guys played hard, they played tough, they played for the full 6 years. Not much else you can ask. And just as I said, the defense I thought really played well outside of that first series. I think they drove it for a field goal, then came back with a touchdown second half. But offense did a nice job running the football, and that was a real team effort there too, including the receivers. Obviously the running backs, tight ends, and line did a good job. So good to see there. And another positive. We had 7 penalties. That's not a positive in the first half. Second half shut that out. So we came back and had a clean slate. It was a little bit uncharacteristic. So then on the humorous side, I guess Nick Jackson. I didn't quite see the footwork that he used. I just saw that on a highlight. So it was a really good play. I don't know it was that good a play. So it's kind of a little bit different and unique. Trophy game, rivalry game. It's certainly great to come out on the right end of that. And then toolbox, I guess our guys won that one last night. I missed it, but they're on a little bit of a roll, so I know happy for them, and they do a great job working during the year. And then lastly, our fans were great tonight. Great crowd, the blackout, the whole 9 yards, and a really good deal. So great night for us, and just really happy for our guys. We'll have a big challenge getting ready for next week, but we'll enjoy this one tonight.
Coach, can you talk about your offensive line? It looked like they were pushing them around right from the start.
Yeah, I think they're gaining confidence, and they're growing. And certainly came into the season feeling like we're a little bit closer to where we want to be, and they're making good progress. Good to get Bo back in there too, not taking away from anybody else, but there's a reason he's a starter. So a lot of good things there. And then the tight ends were a little nicked up there, but the guys jumped in. John Pascuzzi, Zach. Hayden Large, all those guys did a good job, and then perimeter blocking too to make the run game going makes a big difference.
Blake
Hornstein, Hawkeye headquarters. Kirk, Caleb just eclipsed. He's got the 20 touchdowns. That's what Sean had in 2008. I know you mentioned you want 12 games. Sean did it, and we're on game 9 right now. But what makes Caleb such a great back, and what maybe puts him in that class of the elite ones you've had during your time here?
Yeah, I mean he's got good ability obviously, and he's got size, strength, speed, all those things that you would love to have. I think I'm most impressed with it just as an approach. He's just the maturity that he's playing with right now and practicing with. He's like that all week long, and then he's hard to bring down. Like he doesn't go down with an arm tackle, so it's a credit to him. He's really figured out how to use what he has, and I think he's enjoying that. But I think I'm most impressed with he's staying so focused right now, and that's a real tribute to him.
John Steppe, Cedar Rapids Gazette. It seemed like kind of on both sides there's kind of a dominance for you guys at the line of scrimmage. Have you seen that from your teams against Wisconsin before, and kind of how important is it to have that advantage there in this series?
Yeah, I mean every year is a different story, a matchup and that type of thing. So, but they're a good football team. We have a lot of respect for them coming in and still do, and they're it's an interesting year this year, really, in our conference. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see this thing coming tonight. So sometimes that just happens where things start clicking a little bit. Just got to give our guys credit because they really came ready to go.
Chad Lice, Dakota, Win Register. I know you follow the NFL enough to know that running backs are not like super valued, at least in the draft, that kind of thing. But you guys seem to value the running back position quite a lot. What does a good running back do for a team, I guess, like the one that you have?
Yeah, I mean, talked about Sean and what the impact he had. Go back to Fred Russell. He was in the locker room a couple weeks ago. Different sizes, shapes, styles, all that kind of stuff. But a guy that can, really take the load and go. That's a big thing. And it just kind of creates an energy internally too. With the linemen, get excited, just like the return guys. They can't wait to block for Weege right now because they know there's a chance good things are going to happen when those guys have the ball. And tonight it played in our favor. I don't know what the time of possession was, but just having a chance to keep the clock going a little bit and takes pressure off the defense. So there's a lot of good things about it if you can get it going. And again, I can't say enough about Caleb, but I thought all three of the guys really ran well tonight, and it's a good combination. Jazz was hitting it hard, and Kamari, has got that quick burst in there. So, they're playing off each other pretty well.
Scott.
Scott Docterman from The Athletic. I wanted to ask you about Caleb going from, the last couple of years he'd have moments, he'd flash, 200-yard game against Purdue or some of the big runs before, and then there'd be a dip and or the consistency wasn't quite there. He seems to be finishing runs more now. What can you spot when that actually took place, when he kind of pushed through from being 80% of a great back to 100% of a great back?
I think his approach this year entirely, going back to August, start of camp, has been different. And that's what you hope with older guys, as they've been in the program for a while. You hope they start to, I always tell them, like if you want to know how to act, just look at the front of the room typically. A guy like Jay Higgins, Campbell before him. And that's true, I think, at every position. And but yeah, he's working at a different rate. And I still think, to me, his aha moment in my mind was at the end of the Iowa State game. We were trying to run the clock. And he had a couple of plays that were blocked for one, and he got about 6 or 8, and that's something he hadn't done in the past. So I think he's learning maybe what he's capable of doing. And he's starting to get it down pretty good, luckily, yeah.
Hey, Kirk, Elliot Clough, Hawkeye Beacon. I just wanted to ask about that. I think it was the first drive of the second half that you guys took 10 plays, 86 yards, all runs. I guess I'm curious, was that all Tim's play calling? Like, did you see that coming? Was that something that was maybe a thought going into that start of that second half, or you just felt like you could lean on him and do whatever you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, we talk at every half, offense and defensive staff make adjustments, those types of things. What do we like? What don't we like? What might be good, that type of thing. And the whole staff talked about that, but Tim calls the game. And, as far as staying with it, if it's working, you stay with things, and if it's not, then you try to, find something else. But, yeah, we got into a pretty good rhythm, and, Tim called a great game. So it's, everything was just, really complimenting each other.
Adam.
Adam Jacoby, Hawkeye Beacon. Kirk, a full week of practice for Brendan Sullivan at QB1, and then a performance like this. What did you see from him during the week, and how would you evaluate how he played tonight?
I thought he played really well, and some things he'd like to take back, I'm sure. The grounding, start with that one, and it's stupid in college. That's negative rushing yardage, right? That's a bad rule too, but got a couple of them. But I thought he played really well, and it was in a hurry a couple times maybe, where if he'd slowed down, some things would have been a little better for him. That's lack of playing time and just lack of being out there. He practiced well all week long. And, so yeah, I thought he did a really nice job and really pleased for him.
Tom.
Tom Kickert, Hawkeye Report. Kirk, I think a couple weeks ago you said, boy, short medical meeting. Now there's a longer list. Probably not going to say that
My
again,
mouth
aren't
shut,
you?
huh?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Cade status moving forward for next week. Luke Lachey, Strenga, some of those guys. Can you update those?
Yeah, I can talk about two guys. Strenga and Reese will not be out there. Vanderzee. So that's hopefully by a week we'll see, And then the rest of them, we'll just kind of wait and see what happens. I think those guys have a chance, but we'll know more here next week. I want to see you guys on Tuesday. We'll probably have a little better idea. Yep.
Tyler Tashman with the Des Moines Register. Just curious, with Brendan, how well do you feel like he fits into Tim's offense and the way that he kind of schemes things up? Like, how do you feel like that marriage kind of works?
I think I think there's enough flexibility probably in any system. You kind of lean towards what a guy can do. So I'm going back to Brad Banks had some things that we would do with him we might not have done with certainly Nathan Chandler the next year, or and Tate was a little bit in there too. So you just kind of lean towards whatever. The obvious dimension right now is his running ability, and that came in handy tonight. I don't know how many rush yards he had, but it affects the defense a little bit, and it helps the running game too. Certainly if they have to respect a little bit more. And he made a great throw on that ball down there. The Ortworth was a huge play for us, and that was a good play too. So I thought he did a really nice job.
Scott Docterman again with The Athletic. I wanted to kind of ask about, you've been around a couple of Heisman campaigns, whatever they are, with Brad in 2002. Sean's was real subtle, but he got sixth in the voting. With Caleb, his numbers compared to backs in peer conferences is just off the charts. Does he deserve to get into that conversation? And how would you promote him if you wanted him to get into it?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I haven't given it much thought, but, and really all I know about all that stuff is what I hear on the radio when I drive in or drive out. And I know the guy at Boise, I guess, has 1,000,000 yards too, right? And somebody was really raving about him. In fact, they were doing a little Heisman rundown, and it sounds like there's nobody else left from what they were, whoever this guy was that was talking. But yeah, we haven't been too worried about that. But you know, this is a time of year where all that kind of stuff does become, it's like rankings and everything else. I tell our guys, none of that stuff's relevant until now. Yet none of us really know what the end of the story is until a month from now. And so I'd imagine he'll be in the conversation at some point if he keeps doing what he's doing, and we'll promote him as best we can, just like we would anybody who's, you know, doing a great job. And it's a team thing if it does happen, which, you know, Caleb would be the first guy to say it.
Last question, John.
John Steppe gets that again. Kind of following up on injuries with Marco. Kind of when did that happen? What's kind of the nature of it?
Oh, what a week, huh? So, and you want to ask who's number 3 and 4?
Sure.
Did you guys see him out there?
Well,
Yeah.
Tyler, I assume, is
Max
Dr.
White?
Jackson.
You can't make it up. You really can't make it up. So, yeah, he got hurt during the week, and I'm not going to tell you how it happened, but it was in practice. And so anyway, unfortunately, he had to get surgery on it, and it's going to take a little while. So it's unfortunate, and you know, he was so looking forward. I mean, you know, you don't want anybody to get hurt, anybody to be out, but he got a chance now to get some really number 2 quarterbacks, and the guy gets rough to 7-1. So he finally is going to get some work, and then, you know, down that goes. So he's a great young guy, and I feel badly for him, you know, having to go through that.
All right, thank you.